Welcome, Aries. Whether you're a fiery veteran of this zodiac battalion or a newly awakened ram just discovering the magic of the stars, for tuning into my channel, Zodiac Talks Tarot. Let's get one thing clear, this isn't just a weekly forecast. This is your soul's status update, and this week, Aries, you're about to pull off something that will leave jaws dropped, eyebrows raised, and a few people clutching their metaphorical pearls. Between June 2nd and June 8th, you're not just making moves. You're shifting timelines. The overall energy? Tower meets Two of Wands, a cocktail of divine disruption and courageous reinvention. In plain terms, you're done with the safe zone. You've packed your cosmic carry-on, left your comfort zone in airplane mode, and now you're boarding a one-way flight to whatever the hell is next. It's bold, it's liberating, and yes, it may shock a few folks. But don't worry, Aries. That's not rebellion. That's alignment. We kick off this reading with some cosmic advice that doubles as a Buddhist koan. Your secrets are safe. Choose your words carefully. Translation: the universe is listening. The energy you speak into existence is the blueprint it builds from. So the question is, are you telling the stars what you want or what you fear? Because your internal monologue might just be your most powerful spell or your biggest saboteur. With Jupiter preparing to slide out of Gemini, this is a time to quit rehearsing your dream and start performing it. I say this not just as someone who's read more birth charts than Google Maps directions, but as someone who's seen how subtle shifts in language can bend fate. You're not lost, Aries, you're just shedding skin. Like any good Zen monk with a map to nowhere, all you need is stillness, clarity, and a bit of cosmic sarcasm. So if your gut says go, then go. Just remember to close the door gently behind you. Or don't. You're Aries, after all. You're here to shake things up. Let's dive into the real story behind your week, Aries. Because what's happening here is more than just another tarot spread. It's an energetic shift, a cosmic rebrand, and yes, your very own plot twist. When the Two of Swords pairs up with the Knight of Cups, it's not just a casual crossroads, it's you standing on the edge of everything familiar, holding your breath before leaping into something wildly unknown. The decision you're making, whether others see it coming or not, will absolutely surprise people. But that's what transformation looks like. It's quiet, deliberate, and often misunderstood, until the results speak for themselves. Then comes the Tower, not once, but twice, because apparently the universe didn't think you were getting the message the first time. Paired with the Two of Wands, this tells me you're not tweaking your old plans. You're lighting the whole thing on fire and building something from pure instinct and vision. You've outgrown the mold that once held you, and now it's time to stop fixing the cracks and start building new foundations. As for that Knight of Cups, sure, it might represent a romantic gesture, but this week, it feels more like a dream or soul passion riding in, demanding your full attention. Don't mistake that knock on the door for something casual. This might be the big one. And once you've made that bold choice, the energy shifts toward clarity and calm. The Six of Swords is your energetic life raft, helping you leave behind the chaos, confusion, and noise that once felt like your normal. You're sailing out of survival mode, and into strategy. The Queen of Pentacles shows up like the cosmic CFO, reminding you to be resourceful. How can you build more with less? This is where true creativity lives, not in endless resources, but in the quiet genius of constraint. Believe me, I've seen fire signs make magic with cardboard, and earth signs turn minimalism into a masterpiece. Now here's the twist: you're not meant to grind every second. The Four of Swords invites you to pause. Not everything needs to be forced into action. Sometimes rest is the most radical move you can make. This is the universe's subtle nudge, or not so subtle, considering the Tower's encore, telling you to slow down and gather strength. Chaos isn't the enemy here, it's just clarity dressed in wild robes. And even spiritual warriors, yes, even Aries need to unplug and exhale. You're not lazy. You're recharging for the next level. So rest, recover, and remember, even monks need naps. Especially the enlightened ones with fire in their chart. Let's talk about your unsung superpower this week, Aries, and no, it's not your ability to get things done faster than a caffeinated Gemini on a deadline. It's your mind. Yes, that curious, questioning, ever hungry for truth brain of yours is firing on all cylinders. The Page of Swords meets the Hermit, and this combo tells me one thing: you've already done the homework. You've researched, reflected, overthought, underthought, googled, meditated, maybe even spiraled a bit, but make no mistake, you're more prepared than anyone realizes. Just because you didn't shout it from the rooftops doesn't mean you didn't climb the whole mountain in silence. So if someone questions your decisions this week, smile gently and then proceed to build an empire anyway. Now, let's get into the subtle battlefield of energy and resources. The Queen of Pentacles shows up alongside the Five of Swords, and that's your cue to be mindful of power dynamics, especially where money or support is involved. Just because someone speaks louder doesn't mean they're wiser. Think of it like this: the Queen of Pentacles knows how to turn a dollar into a dynasty, and she doesn't need applause to do it. So don't let someone else's opinion hijack your intuition. Quiet wisdom isn't weakness, it's mastery wearing sweatpants. Then comes the moment where things get real, the sun paired with Phoenix rising. You're not just seeing the truth, you are the truth. You're illuminating what's been hidden, burned down what needed to go, and now you're rising not in ashes, but in clarity. And yes, the Tower is back, again. At this point, it's practically your sidekick. But paired with the Hermit, it's not chaos, it's transformation. They thought you were unraveling. What you were really doing was molding. And if there's one theme that carries through, it's this: you don't need to prove anything. The Strength card reminds you that the hardest part is already behind you. You've faced the mountain. Now you own the view. The Hermit confirms your path may be solitary, but it's far from lost. You don't have to argue, defend, or explain. Buddha didn't send newsletters. He just showed up fully awake. So walk your path, Aries, and let the results speak louder than your rebuttals. Let's be honest, Aries, this stretch of your reading hits right where the heart, head, and soul intersect. This is the part where the cosmos hands you a reality check and a gentle high five at the same time. Starting with the Five of Pentacles, we are being asked to examine the ever-sneaky scarcity mindset. That little voice that says, I don't have enough, I'm not ready, or worse, who do I think I am to want more? Classic self-sabotage disguised as practicality. But here's the truth from someone who has spent decades decoding natal charts and watching human behavior unfold like a well-rehearsed play: that mindset isn't protecting you, it's imprisoning you. Just because something feels out of reach doesn't mean it's out of alignment. Sometimes, your next chapter is waiting for you to believe you're worthy of it. Now, the Justice card shows up alongside the Three of Swords like the universe saying, look, we're gonna have to cut some cords here. And yes, sometimes healing feels like heartbreak. Not because you did something wrong, but because you're growing, and growth often means leaving behind the very people, places, or patterns that once felt like home. Some folks might be uncomfortable with your evolution. Let them. You don't owe anyone your stagnation just to keep the dynamic cozy. Balance isn't about everyone being happy, it's about you being honest with yourself. Moving forward, your future self chimes in with a timely reminder, you're not alone. And you know what? That message lands even deeper when paired with the Moon and Ten of Cups. Dream big, Aries, but bring that dream down from the clouds and plant it. Visualize it, name it, ground it. Because fantasies are just unplanted seeds. You have the tools now. It's about trusting your vision and asking for support from people who actually want to see you bloom, not just benefit from your shade. Then we revisit the Five of Pentacles, but this time, it's standing next to the Seven of Wands. That's no coincidence. The message here? Stop obsessing over what you lack and double down on what you've already conquered. Focus on your strength. Aries energy is raw willpower, and this week, that grit is your greatest asset. Just because something is difficult doesn't mean it's a detour. Sometimes the hard path is the right one, especially when it's aligned with growth. Finally, we arrive at the Two of Wands, your cosmic cue that it's time to leave the comfort zone for good. That old version of you? It's served its purpose. But the new version? They're standing at the edge of something extraordinary. With the Six and Eight of Pentacles at your side, the message is crystal clear: keep it simple, keep it consistent. Success doesn't have to be some chaotic riddle you solve at 3 a.m. It's about small, steady steps. Plant the seeds. Water them. Keep showing up. In Buddhist terms, it's not about striving towards some grand enlightenment moment. It's about sweeping the floor, drinking the tea, and tending the garden with presence. Your peace, your progress, and your purpose are already within you, Aries. All that's left now is to choose them. Here's the thing, Aries, you've made it to the good stuff section of your reading, and honestly, you've earned it. After all the soul-searching, tower moments, and ego check-ins, the universe is finally opening a fresh lane just for you. With this new moon energy lighting the path, you're stepping into a cycle of clean slates, intuitive hits, and those "wait, is this really happening?" kind of wins. This is the moment where your gut instincts and cosmic timing align like a GPS finally recalculating after years of rerouting. The only catch? You've got to trust it and follow through. Now, the Six of Wands is showing up like your personal cheer section: validation, recognition, and even a few "I knew you could do it" messages from folks who may or may not have doubted you just a few chapters ago. Don't get too caught up in the applause, though. You're not here for likes, you're here to lead. Enter the Emperor. That's you, in full cosmic CEO mode. Grounded. Focused. A little intimidating in the best way. You're finally taking the throne of your own life, Aries, and let me tell you, the universe loves a bold ruler who isn't afraid to blaze their own trail. But of course, when you start shining, someone's always going to reach for the dimmer switch. So if you sense a little jealousy or passive-aggressive energy coming your way, remember this: envy is just admiration in denial. And haters? They're usually just spectators who never had the guts to play the game. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. You weren't built to blend in, you were made to break molds. Now, real talk. From one seasoned soul to another, the road ahead isn't a Disney montage. It's long, winding, and occasionally wild. The Moon and Three of Swords show that temporary emotional waves may crash in. And yes, there will still be greedy hands, manipulative energy, and emotional freeloaders trying to hitch a ride on your momentum. But you're not here for the short-term sprint, you're here for the legacy marathon. The background noise of chaos may linger until 2033, don't shoot the messenger, but hey, Aries is the Zodiac's pioneer for a reason. You don't follow trends, you forge them. Or as we say in Buddhist philosophy, no mud, no lotus. You've waded through the mess, and now you're blooming with dirt under your nails and wisdom in your eyes. That's how real transformation works. So here's my final take: this week isn't about being safe. It's about being true. Say no to the watered-down version of yourself and yes to the wild, radiant, unapologetic you. You're not burning bridges, you're relighting torches. You're not lost, you're ahead of the curve. And wherever you're headed next, take a deep breath and enjoy the hell out of it. If this reading resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Zodiac Talks Tarot. Your energy supports this sacred little corner of the universe where astrology meets soul growth and a little humor never hurts. Keep shining, Aries. The world needs your fire.